Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome for our continuous discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. So, I believe that Bhaktiyaloka is creating a big impact in everyone's life. I'm very happy to hear a lot of feedbacks. That this book, especially, has already created a fantastic what do you call impact, especially in spiritual life. And I'm so excited to hear also that so many devotees have taken up chanting 16 rounds minimum per day. There's devotees who are all like they are very enthusiastic and they start to have what they call the what they call the taste. All right. So that's the goal. That's the goal of our classes, our session, that to encourage everyone to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? And I'm happy to hear that so many people are chanting 16 rounds. Okay. So today is 24th March 2025, and today I think it's 28th or 29th day of Bhaktiyaloka. So imagine we're having something like solid 60 hours of discussion on Bhaktiyaloka detailed studies. So after this Bhaktiyaloka, I think should be we could be complete in most probably in maybe in another what 10 days or less than that. All right. Then after that, we are going into this Harinam Chintamani. Okay. What is that? Chanting of holy name is very important. So Harinam Chintamani, the book that I've been just going through, I just went through it. It's amazing, totally amazing. And of course, it's so by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, you should understand that he is in very in-depth explanation. Then after that, we will go into this. Of course, we put a poll. Some says, they want Srimad Bhagavatam and another wants, what they call? Nectar of Devotion. Okay, Nectar of Devotion. We will start immediately after if say like, for instance, if we could complete Harinam Chintamani, then after that we do Nectar of Devotion until May 1st. All right, if we couldn't complete by May 1st. So what we do, May 1st, we will, because May 1st is all right, because of so many feedbacks and everything, we have to start our, what book is that? Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam will be started from May 1st. And so this Nectar of Devotion will be 2 sessions, and Srimad Bhagavatam will be 3 sessions per week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Thursday and Friday will be Nectar of Devotion. Because Nectar of Devotion, I think we could complete, we could relish it soon. Then after that, we will go into relishment of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So if everything is okay, because Srimad Bhagavatam, you should understand 18,000 verses, and it is the cream of all scripture. All right. It's a cream of all scripture, natural commentary. So that is something that I'm also very excited, looking forward. And I'm also happy to hear some devotees wants to also to read Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Nanda Devi Mataji wanted Bhagavad Gita detailed studies. Maybe let's see how we can adjust accordingly, and we will do it. Everything is like concurrently, all right, and see how we can go about it. All right, we just pray to our Guru Varga, Srila Prabhupada, and all these acharyas to bless us with abundance of knowledge and intelligence and enthusiasm and adaptability and assimilation. Simply reading and studying is not a big deal, but we have to assimilate, all right? Because see, when the food that we eat, we simply swallow, but the thing is going into the stomach and getting assimilated, digested. So once the thing digests, that's when it turns into energy, right? It turns into energy and we become energetic. So similarly, the same thing, whatever books that we are reading, especially now Bhaktiyaloka, we are doing it very slowly, because we want to relish each and every sentence Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining, right? So there's a big relishment. And so just by knowing is not enough, not sufficient. Since you have known it, why not apply it, all right? Because don't know when we're going to go back to Bhaktiyaloka. After that, the Bhaktiyaloka book will be your personal reference. Okay, when you want to study again, read again, it's going to be a personal reference. But while we are here, we study the book and we try to assimilate, and after that we feel the what they call the bhava. All right. So before we start, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapidam Yena Bhutali Swayam Rupa Karamayam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam. Sadvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasacharitarine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine. Shri Varshabhanavi Vidaitai Kripapdaye Krishna Sambandha Vignanadaine Prabhave Namaha. Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhakti Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namustute. Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarini Rupanuga Viruda Pasitanta Dvanta Harine. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambode Padam Bujayate Namaha. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandaramine Gaura Shakti Sarupai Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Vir Bhavabu Mestam Nidasa Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhama Sri Jagannathayate Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Paditanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavevayo Namo Namaha. Om Namo Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Garatse Namaha. Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Vadaram Bhakta Akyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namstate. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Vrishabhanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Pataka Swami Namini. Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayani Gaurakata Damadaya Nagaragramatayi. Krishna. Okay, so let's continue our discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. Okay, let's see where we stopped. Okay, we stopped at this. Okay, at this place, serving the guest as the principal duty of a grahastha. Okay, so before that, let's do our quick recap. So, okay, so here in Adi Lila 15, chapter 15, text 26, 27, the Lord says, since I'm remaining at home, it is my duty to act as a grahastha. Without a wife, there is no meaning to a householder life. While living with one's wife and maintaining religious family life, Krishna's servant and maid servant are born in the form of sons and daughters. So this is something very, very important statement that we should look into it. So while living in one's life, that means living a life of a grahastha. Grahastha means married men who are practicing bhakti, not an ordinary type of family, right? So that means this is the family that is practicing bhakti. So when a person lives with his wife and practice bhakti, so it says that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining that while living in one's life and maintaining religious family life. Okay, when we maintain our religious family life, Krishna's servant and maid servant, that means Manjaris and Sakis, all these kind of personalities are born in the form of sons and daughters. All right. So the example I've given during the example I've shared on the last Friday, it is during my initiation time. My spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, was giving a class, the initiation class. And that class, he was saying that all the children of a devotee is Vaikundavas. Right? They are coming from Bhaktiyaloka to achieve perfection. Right? So it is very important of a grahastha life that not to bring up the children whimsically. Right? So we cannot show our anger, our frustration, or even pollute them with all this kind of our what they call our belief system, right? So we have to bring them up. Okay, of course we have to be very strict parents. Then we have to cultivate them. So the goal of life is to achieve perfection in spiritual life. all right, not to become a very successful doctor, engineer, and everything. But if their nature is to become a doctor, engineer, or whatever it is, we cultivate them and to remind them that this is only a way of life to sustain in this material world. But the ultimate goal of life is, of course, to achieve the highest perfection. Right? In Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna says, if you cannot deliver your dependent, if you cannot deliver your dependent, you should not become a father, a guru, or even a king. All right? You can't even a king, because if you can't deliver people, all right, it is going to be very offensive. But of course, in our situation, we have some or other good fortune, and also we may get this bhakti late, all right? That means our children are already grown up, they have their own belief system and everything. So therefore, what we supposed to do is we try to increase our bhakti and become successful in our bhakti life. So that, and after that, we pray to Srila Prabhupada that all our dependents, our children and everything will become Krishna conscious, all right? But sometimes I've seen like people are working so hard to make their family devotee, but they themselves are not becoming a proper devotee. So that's not supposed to be the way now. But if you are creating a family, if you are going to build a family, you should build a family in Krishna conscious from the day one, right? In the day one, because like even in my experience, I've seen my eldest girl is already 18 now. When she was born, she was like totally a different type of person. But of course, I sent her to the school. The modern education is a slaughterhouse. So went there and a character changed, and it worried me so much. I got so worried. Then after that, until it came to one level, all right. I like to be very frank with all of you, right? I'll be very frank with all of you, because we are all a devotee association, and I believe that all of you, each and every one of my very dear friends and my very dear associate, right? So all of you are my master and also my mothers. So therefore, I like to be very frank. So until at one moment, I also start to have this kind of regret, because I was thought my initial idea is to become a brahmachari. So then I was listening to some lectures saying that even like my Guru Maharaj said, if I can produce many children, I should, for the sake, for that, I want to get married. All right. But he says, I can't because I'm already a sannyasi. Similarly, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada also say the same thing, right? If I would produce 1,000 children, okay, I rather get married and create children, right? Because they want devotees, they want all these kind of people from all the spiritual world to come and take birth. So after seeing my children acting in a very adverse way, my children, I start to have regret. I start to have regret saying that I should have just become a brahmachari. You know, I felt like this thing. But later I start to realize, but even though the children having this kind of attitude problem and all this kind of character, but eventually they start to change, right? Eventually, naturally, spontaneously, they like to go and join the Harinam. They like to go and join that, what they call, book distribution. They like to go and come to the temple. And I start to see the transformation. That means I'm seeing the full circle now. I mean, not full cycle, but I'm seeing. That means from good, that means they went and they got distracted with all this kind of material way of life. And now they are coming back. So then that's when I understand. That's when I start to realize, you know, what my Guru Maharaj said. He said it that all your children are Vaikunthavasi. And we have to bring them out. That's why Prabhupada says, don't even punish the children. You just don't even beat the kids. You just need to threaten them with a cane. Show the cane and threaten them. Hey, I'm going to whack you. But don't whack. Right? Because they are like that. And of course, they also fall into this material condition of life. And they have to come up according to the material condition of life. Right? So that's the thing. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining this. And of course, he also had such a great Manjari son, a glorious son, that is none other than Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, the spiritual master of our Prabhupada, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. All right. So he's a Jagat Guru and he's also a Simha Guru. So that's what he meant. So he wrote here that if we can maintain religious family life, but what happens if we maintain material family life, or we maintain karmi family life? Of course, that is almost not possible, right? So we have to maintain our religious family life. We have to put Krishna in the middle, right? The family that prays together stays together, right? So we have to make a point. Say like, for instance, everyone is busy. Man is busy, women is busy, children are busy, everybody is busy. Right? There is no proper communication is happening in the life. The biggest trouble in this material world now, current days, in this modern world, I should say, it is communication. All right, when the communication is broken, everything break into pieces. Right, break into pieces. So I have practiced that, the communication with my family, my wife, and my children. Like for instance, when I got married, that they see that what they call the compatibility, purtham. They see the purtham, right, when they want to get married. When they check purtham, because my wife was proposed by my father, and somehow or other after we engaged and after engaged, right? So out of curiosity, I just went and checked the purtham, and the astrologer said the compatibility. The astrologer says 0. There's no purtham at all. You can never get married. You can never get married to her. Right? If you get married, you will never have children. Right? Then after that, I start to realize, all right, well, I've already committed in this bond, the marriage bond. And I was thinking somehow or other it may break up and everything. I just then after that, that time I told my fiance, my wife, and she was shocked, and looks like the whole family seems to be shocked because they thought, I should have checked this one first. But I told my wife, as long if our communication is good, right? As long as we can communicate well, number one. Number two, as long as we can keep Krishna in the middle, all right? If we can keep Krishna in the middle, our life can be successful. Because in my opinion, I think you are the gift from Lord Krishna himself. So I've taken you as prashadam, as a mercy. All right. So I think that then like that. Then after that, she said, okay. But after that, somehow, of course, we have flaws. In every family life, there is a flaws. But somehow or other, we could communicate well, and we can keep Krishna in middle. And somehow or other, we start to have 4 children. Okay. The guy predicted I will never have even a single child because there's no yoni purtham. 0. All right. So, but somehow or other. So that's what I'm telling. So it says that if once we start to practice bhakti, we are above the norm, above the what they call the norm of all these things. All right. So we practice bhakti very seriously. You start to see your life will be full of blessings. There is no social norm or etiquette, especially. Right? Oh, I have to do this. Oh, that means I owe my forefathers. I owe the demigods. All right? We owe them, right? Because now we see that Surya is the sun. That's why we are celebrating Pungal and all these kind of things to show our gratitude to all the devas and all these things. But so we owe our grandfather. Now I'm here because of my forefathers, right? My father, my grandfather, all these people. And I can speak English, I can read and study, and I can be educated because of my father's sacrifice. So that means I still owe him. So like that, there is so many owings we have. We have so many owings. Sometimes we may owe someone and we don't even pay them back. We don't even think about paying them back. Like that kind of things. But once we come into practice, once we start to practice our bhakti, what happens? All our owings is taken care. It is just like pouring the water unto the root of the tree. When you pour the water at the root of the tree, the entire tree is satisfied. Similarly, when we eat, we only we fill our stomach, the whole body is satisfied. Similarly, when we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri, what they call Vrajananda Krishna, when we start to worship that Vrajananda Krishna, right, when we surrender to him, through our Guru Varga, under the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, we do not owe anyone. All our owings is considered nullified. But remember, we have to practice this thing very seriously. All right, because we have to take this as our lifestyle. Okay, our spiritual lifestyle. So like that. So that means we have to take a lot of commitment that we should, like yesterday we had a class in our ISKCON Ipoh Center. A guest devotee came and he was explaining about offering pinda. For those who are deceased, if you offer pinda. And he says that if you don't offer pinda properly at the time of their death and during the funeral and 13 days before that, within that stipulated period, 13 to 14 days, the person will become ghost. All right, that's what is mentioned. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada also mentioned that when we don't offer a proper pinda, the person becomes ghost. But now I don't know, but what happened? Like for instance, in my culture, my former culture, I should say, my former culture, Chettiar culture, they do that, Karmadi, Krigai in 3 days. Right? The body is not even for, because they say, I cannot go on morning like this forever because I got business to take care. I've got, because during the morning period, they don't go out, they don't shave and all this kind of thing. But as a business people, it is not conducive, they do it. So that's a principle that has been practiced. And I believe that what happened to my forefathers, I start to think. But when you really look at all the rules and regulations, it would make you very frustrated in life, right? Because we know the rules are such and I can't practice it. And I'm not sure what have I done to my forefathers. Have I really brought them up nicely? Have I done what I'm supposed to do? All these kind of things are there. So then ultimately, yesterday, Vivan Prabhu shared me with one a very nice say, see a story of Dunduka, right? Dandaka, Dunduka, right? From yes. Right? How sinful the person. And the best way is when a person starts to study Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, all our forefathers are liberated. Okay? That is the thing. So other than that, if you think you want to use any other ordinary way, it's going to be very complicated. So therefore, we keep Krishna in the middle. So every time we chant the holy name, every time we practice bhakti, we practice sadhana. All right? So what happened? We are not only purifying ourselves, but we are purifying all our forefathers. Other than this method, other methods are very complicated and very expensive. You want to go to Gaya, the place where Lord Buddha born. You have to go to Gaya, India. You have to go there and do. Imagine you want to go there and do that. Then after that, you have to go to Kasi. Then you have to go to Rameswaram. So all these kind of things are very, very costly. And sometimes the Brahmana there, only God knows whether they really qualify or not, because they know that's a very lucrative business. People are coming because someone passed away. They want to come and do prayers. They come and say, okay, come, sit down, come, do. And they take big dakshina. Only God knows whether they are right or not. So simply chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, study Srimad Bhagavatam, and study the works of all acharyas. We are some or other have a kind of immunity against all this. But we must understand the immunity is we are given to us as long we practice. Right? As long we practice, the immunity is there. But once we stop practicing it, then our immunity is being taken off. Okay? So that's the thing. So nourishing them and maintaining the family life. The pious acquisition wealth are required. Okay, the pious acquisition of wealth is important. That means in order to maintain the family, we need to have some kind of wealth. But the wealth has to be acquired in a pious way, in a legal way. All right? It is not some kind of illegal business. All right? Illegal, okay, illegal is according to that country's rules and regulation. But when we look at spiritual this thing, that the income has to be acquired in the mode of goodness. That means I'm going to work, I'm earning some money and I'm offering that income to Krishna and I'm taking it as prasadam, and using that money, I'm maintaining my family, right? Not going around and doing this butchery business, this kind of brothel business, or this liquor bar and all these kind of nasty things, and take the money and maintain the family. Of course, things will just never work out. So pious acquisition is very important, right? Okay. In regard, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Chaitanya Bhagavat, it says that the Lord says that there are so many members in your family. How will you maintain everyone? Being a householder, one needs to save some money, because he's not doing so. It's very difficult for him to maintain his family. All right, that's a story, right? So you say, how is it? So that means even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that he's saying that, how are you going to maintain your family if you don't have money? All right, so you need to save some money. Even the Lord himself says that, right? So that's very important as a grahastha life. And another thing also, one must be educated at a proper age. When the age comes, when the age turns 5, the person has to go into a proper education. But he should not study atheistic literature. But what to do nowadays in Kali Yuga? Okay, but in Malaysia, some or other, we have this kind of, in Malaysia, some or other, the country is still religious. All right, religious. And of course, atheistic views are not studied in school by default. All right. So one of that, the 5 principle, Rukun Negara, kepercayaan kepada Tuhan, trust God is the first principle. Among the 5 principles, the first principle is kepercayaan kepada Tuhan. That is something that is still maintained in this world. All right. So in this part of the world. But if you go to this, especially when you go to India, especially South India, especially in the place called Tamil Nadu, That is the most corrupted leadership is there. It has become a very atheistic government. They try to destroy the temple, they try to destroy the Sanatan Dharma, right? And they practice this the teachings of the greatest rascal ever lived in this earth. Okay, Periyar. Periyar is one of the stupidest of great rascal who created a big havoc. So they maintain him as their Acharya, correct? Atheist Acharya, and they still follow them. And they simply break all the rules. So when we are educated there in that part of the world, so what is the result of that education? More and more demons are created. More and more demonic people are created, right? So it is very important that we have to educate people in a proper way, right? So in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Leela, chapter 12, text 49, and Madhya Leela 9, chapter 9, text 241 to 42, Krishna says, why do people study? He asked, why do people study? Education is only for understanding devotional service. That is the ultimate goal of education. The education is to understand devotional service of Lord Krishna. Not education is not meant to become the most richest man on earth, to become the most successful person on earth, to become the first class karmi, to become a capitalist. That's not the point of education. The real education means it is to understand the devotional service of Lord Krishna. And that's what we are doing here. We are on this, we are educating each other, we are studying each other, that we want to understand the devotional service, how we can sing. So if you miss this point, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, then what is the use of your education, right? What is the use of your education? Okay, everybody is blinded actually, right? By pride and sense gratification. So everyone is blinded. You know, I have seen my grandfather died. I've seen my father died. I have seen one of my uncles all dying, and one of them a very filthy rich uncle, extremely rich. And even my maternal uncle, my Thai Maman, also passed away. He also very rich in Madurai. But what is the point? That means if I still don't understand, if I don't ask that question, all that effort that a person done, but end of the day is nothing. You know, when I went to Madurai in India, South India, my uncle was driving me around. So he was telling, can you see that building? That's mine. Can you see that building? That is mine. Can you see this building? Look like every junction is showing, pointing one building, and he's saying that's his, right? But what happened to him now? Right? After he passed away, they just took him to the isolated place of the town, which is called crematorium, and they burned him into ash. Then after that, they took his ash and threw it in the river, Vaigi, or throw it in a sea. So it is somewhat rather diluted. And after that, they take his photo and put it in one corner of his house. And he was the person who brought all the riches to the family. But now the photo has been kept in one corner. After one corner, so whenever annual memorial or whatever it is, they'll take it, they just pray and they take and put it back. So what is that point? So what is the result of all his success and activities? Right? After all, nothing matters. My grandfather was such a millionaire. But today what happened? You know, at last, the company that I've inherited started in 1946. All right, 1946, my grandfather started the business. But I have to give it up in 2013, 2014, I shut down. So my grandfather's business never eternal. So what is the point? That's the thing. But when we are in that business, we are all blinded actually. So everyone is blinded by education, pride, you know, the status and everything. Right? And they're blinded with pride and of course, sense gratification. So being proud of their education and wealth, they fail to recognize Vaishnava. That is something that is very important. Right? Because of their education and because of their wealth, because they are so excited about their educated, they've been standing on with the chest up, when sometimes when we want to go and see a devotee, when you want to go and see, but of course in Malaysia, we don't see that. Even how rich the person, how educated the person still welcomes us. But this is something quite common, especially in India. When a person wants to come and meet the person, they say, I have no time. You have to make an appointment to see someone, right? No, I have no time for him. Ask him to go away. Ask him to get lost, right? So like that. So they fail to recognize the Vaishnava. So now, if one studies Srimad Bhagavatam improperly, now another thing is also Bhaktiyaloka Thakur is warning that if one studies Srimad Bhagavatam improperly, his intelligence is polluted. Therefore, we are going to study Bhagavatam properly. All right. Starting from May, we're going to study Srimad Bhagavatam properly up to our best knowledge. All right. So that's the thing. So today we continue our discussion, serving the guest. All right. What is the next principle of Grahastha? Serving the guest is the principal duty of Grahastha. Okay. The guest is very, very important. Okay. There are so many rules about, okay. Let me see whether it's mentioning. All right. So the guest is very important. When someone comes to the house, we should respectfully welcome him and giving them a proper place to sit, and at least must offer them at least a glass of water. Right? That is the principal duty. Right? A guest come. There's also it's mentioned that even an enemy comes to your house. Even if an enemy comes to your house, you have to treat him so nicely that until the enemy will start to wonder, did I come to my enemy's house? That is the etiquette, right? And this is the etiquette that Grahastha. What happened if a person, when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand. There's a title of description of hellish planet. There's one title in Srimad Bhagavatam, I think in Canto 2, the description of hellish planet. What are the types of hell a person will go? The description. And in that, I think Canto 1 or Canto 2, okay, somewhere there. So in that description of hellish planet, it's mentioned, when a person do not properly entertain the guest, is given a type of hell. Can you imagine? Even if you don't properly take care of guest, there is a special hell for them. All right. Anyway, we will go that when we go to Srimad Bhagavatam. So now let's look at what Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining. So serving a guest is a principal duty of Grahastha. And this is the Lord's instruction. Okay, and this is also Lord's instruction. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 14, text 21 and 26, it stated, Grahastere Mahaprabhu Shikshayena Dharma Atitira Seva Grahatera Mula Karma Akaitava Chitta Suke Yara Yena Shakti Toho Korile Boli Atiteti Bhakti. It's mentioned here. In this way, the Lord satisfied all his guests and taught the world how to behave as a perfect householder. The foremost duty, right? What is the word foremost duty here? Mula karma. Mula karma, right? The foremost duty of a householder is to serve his guest. It's very important to serve the guest. If a householder happily serves his guest without duplicity, right? Without duplicity, just give a duplicate smile. Yes, welcome. But in English, they say, why did you come at this hour? Time for me to sleep. You come without even calling nonsense. That is duplicity. Without duplicity. And according to his ability, is considered hospitable. Hospitable, right? So that means a person has to serve the guest without being duplicate, and also serving according to your hospitable. I mean, according to ability, right? Say sometime when the guest comes, you don't have anything to offer, at least offer him water. At least offer him water. All right. When we go to someone's house, when a guest asks, what would you like to have? Right? Just say, no, I don't want anything. So you should say at least just water will do. Because if you're going to take and drink the water, of course, the guest, the host will also benefit from your visit, right? So they are doing their what they call their duty. So don't go to the house and say, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. All right. When they ask you want coffee, tea, please, I don't take all that. Just give me a glass of water will do. Just fine. Glass of water will do. And just at least take a sip, and just, if you think the house is even like a non-vegetarian or this just go there and just take a sip of water, because it will create a big impact in them. So that reminds me about when I did Sankirtan before. There's one particular place in Ipoh, Pera, they call Kati Estate, right? So my zone is from Ipoh up to Sungai Siput and up to Kolakangsa. So in between, there's a place called Kati Estate. So I went to that estate, right? So I went to that estate. Then what happened? We were distributing books. Okay. So this the estate is quite crazy kind of situation. right? There's this place, there's a one community, and another place, there's another community. In between, there's a what they call a drain, right? So after talking to them and everything, then I asked, what is that over that side? Oh, you don't go there. I say, why? You don't go there. No, 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 you don't go there. Why? Because that's a place all the low caste people are staying. The typical way the low caste people are staying there. I say, really? Then I should go there. No, no, you cannot do that. Then they start to wonder, are you from that type of this thing? Looking at you doesn't, I say, doesn't matter, but it's my duty when I am in this attire. At that time, I think I should be around 17 or 18 years old, right? 18, 19, somewhere there. So they were stopping. I say, I just don't care. I just jumped that a little, quite a big drink. I just jumped and I went. The first house I went and met. Okay. Went and met, and the family seems to be like shocked to see me. Then I asked, when a guest come to your house, don't you want to offer me a water? And they were shocked and said, oh, okay. So they went and got their best cup and get me a water. And of course, the cup was very smelly because they eat fish and all this. The cup was very, when I brought the cup near, oh my God. But I just said, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu, Om Sri Vishnu. I just take a little sip and I gave back. Then I talked to them. And today, that family has become a devotee. That girl has already, so they moved people, then after that, married a devotee. All right. And now I heard they are all settled down in Vrindavan. Okay. I think we. Oh, Pushpa Mataji is not here. I saw her coming in. She knows, right? She married her. She became a devotee, and she started to purify. The mother and daughter both moved to Ipoh. And after that, they start to practice sadhana very nicely. And she married a devotee from Ghana. After married a devotee from Ghana, and that husband is a Brahmin initiated, and somehow or other they start to these things. Then they were staying, and now I heard that they are preaching in Africa. Both the husband and wife preaching in Africa, but eventually I heard they have already moved to Vrindavan. I'm not sure. Okay, after that I don't know what is the thing, but the last I heard they are already in Vrindavan. So that is very important. So when we go to people's house, right, especially you as a devotee, when they want to offer you a water, just simply accept it, right? Tell them, you just please get me a water in a, hopes that the thing is not with non-vegetarian. I say, yeah, we got something very nice for you. Just take water and just take a sip. You can create a big changes, right? Because they are doing that for their own purification. So we do not go and then create this kind of unpleasant environment for them. Just say, whatever. Do you want, the normally is coffee tea. No, I don't take coffee, I don't take tea, just a water will do, just plain water, right? Because I don't take any of this kind of, what they call this thing. But what happens if they serve you without even asking you? Right? While you're sitting, suddenly they just bring a coffee for you, right? So what do you need to do? Just respectfully tell them, oh, I don't drink coffee at all. I'm so sorry. No, I don't drink coffee. I'm really appreciate your hospitality, but if you don't mind, just give me a water. Just fine. Right? Respectfully. No, oh, I don't drink coffee. I don't need to say that. Don't need to prove your point. Just humbly say, right? So it's very important. Okay, anyway. So a Grahastha should act with simplicity in his dealing with people. Another thing about Grahastha life, that we should act very simple. We act very simplicity, right? So that means when he's dealing with people, when dealing with people, we just keep our life simple. If not, our life is already complicated. Why should we complicate our life further? So keep it simple, right? He should not allow any kind of cheating. He should not allow any kind of cheating or duplicity in his heart. That means when I associate with devotee, I got something, a desire, I got some internal intention in my heart, right? Say like, for instance, when I deal with the example, okay, I deal with someone, oh, Hare Krishna, welcome. Everything in my heart was thinking, oh, okay, how can I use it? All these kind of things we don't need. Just be straightforward, simple, and distinct, correct? We don't even need to think. Okay, sometimes when the devotee comes, we heard something bad about him, oh, this person, we don't need to worry about all that. So we just be simple in his dealing, very simple, right? And you should not allow any kind of cheating or duplicity happens in the heart. In Chaitanya Charita Bhagavat, Adi Leela, chapter 14, text 142, Krishna says, Lord Chaitanya says, Ateva grihe tumi Krishna bhajagiya Kutinati parihari ekanta hoy. Therefore, go back to your home and worship Lord Krishna with full attention. Give up all duplicity. Okay, that's the instruction that he gave, right? Then, in the principal duty of Grahastha to serve senior person, it is also the principle of Grahastha, right? To serve senior person. Okay, senior people or like elderly people, and also this kind of thing. So he said, Grahastha ha iyo karibo, Pita Matara Seva. Pita Matara Sevana. Ihate itusta habena Lakshmi Narayana. Later I shall become a householder and thus serve my parents. Krishna says, later I shall become a householder and serve my parents. For this action will very much satisfy Lord Narayana and his wife, goddess of fortune. In every house, the elderly people, the parents are respected and taken care nicely. That's a place the goddess of fortune will live. But nowadays, in current modern society, all the elderly people are so mafan. You know, in Chinese, we call mafan. Or in other words, so troublesome, they simply throw them into old folks' home, right? Or we just disregard them. A son his duty is to protect his parents, right? So the son must always keep the parents with him, right? With him. So sometimes when you see that the parents will stay in one house, the children will stay another house, unless because of the call of duty, you know, you have to like stay away from your parents. That's different. But you must always make sure that parents are taken care very nice, right? Like recently, I've seen my friend. He's very well to do. He bought a huge house near my place. Then I asked, "Where's your parents?" He said, "No, parents are they're staying in their house." Why didn't you bring them? Let them stay there. Like, no, let them. So that means we are all like it's like a, you know, the Christian understanding, right? It says that every family is a unit, so we have to remain as a unit. So after you're married, there's a term called flying away from the nest. Okay, fly away from the nest. So that means the children will go up and create his own family and live in his house and this thing. So it's not that way. So we as a devotee, all right, we are not worried about karmi, but as a devotee, our duty is to look after our parents. Not only look after, but serve our parents. Somehow or other, we have to make our parents a devotee. All right, that's very, very important. That's why when I moved from that house, I refused to come out until my parents doesn't want to move with me. I said, I'm not going to move there. So the house was stranded for almost a year after I bought a new house. Almost a year. Then at last, my father and mother decided to follow me and stay with me. All right. And of course, as I said, that's also so my wife also was quite what they call very nice enough to serve my parents, right? So it's very important. Okay, don't keep your parents stay in their own house. If they want to stay in their own house, you stay with them. All right. Or if not, until then they'll follow. So they can be whatever situation. All right. So as a children, we have to remain with our parents. And of course, sometimes the parents can come and get involved in your life, in your relationship, even in your children. But that is our duty. We must know that very well. Householders should take principle, renunciation, and heart. Okay. Then another thing is the householder should take the principle of renunciation in heart. That means the householder, although they are married, all right, say like a person is married, but even though he's married, even though he has a wife and children and family, but his heart must be in a renounced order. Even they are there, they are not attached to them. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so we must understand that that all of us are individual person. We came as individual. We're going to live as individual. So even though that I am with a family, so I should always have the principle, even I'm performing my duty, but in my heart, I must have renunciation. But he should not simply dress as a renunciate. So if I have a renunciation that way, I shouldn't simply become a sannyasi and give up my family. That is, Lord Chaitanya is saying no. As stated in Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya Charita, stated by the Lord in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 16, 237 to 239. He says, Stira kono gore yau na hau vatula krame krame paya loko bhava sindupula markatta vairagya na kara loka dekana hata yogya vishaya gunja anashakta honam antara nishtakara boye loka vyavahara achirat krishna tomai karibo udar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, be patient and return home. Okay, this is a very nice statement. I want all of you to underline that in your book. Lord, who says Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? What did he say? He said, be patient. Number one, we have to be patient. Dira, sober. Be patient and return home. Don't be crazy. Don't be crazy, fellow. By and by, you will be able to cross. You will be able to cross the ocean of material existence. You should not make yourself a show bottle devotee and become a false renunciate. Right? A person wants to become a sannyasi. So Lord Chaitanya is telling, be patient and go back home. Right? Don't be crazy, fellow. Be able to cross you will be able to cross the ocean of material existence, even in a grasta life. Right? And don't make yourself a show bottle devotee. See, I've given up my family. Now I'm a sannyas. So all that. And become a false renunciate. For time being, enjoy the material world in befitting way. Right? He says, enjoy the material world. He said, for right now, enjoy the material world. How? In a befitting way. Befitting way means what? It's not buying many houses, many cars, creating opulence. All right? Befitting way means as a grahasta, right? Bringing up the children, playing with the children, having fun with the children, working and coming and engaging devotional service. That's what befitting way. Okay, this is what that we must understand. And do not become attached to it. Right? Do according to the correct way and don't get attached to it. Within your heart, you should keep yourself very faithful. All right? It says within your heart, keep yourself very faithful. But externally, you may behave like an ordinary man. Externally, you may behave like an ordinary man. Thus, Krishna will be soon very pleased and deliver you from the clutches of mind. Okay? So all these things are very important instruction. Householder is duty bound to work for the benefit of everyone. Okay, is duty bound to work for benefit of everyone. Okay, the householder is not only you're working for your own benefit for your family and children, but also for everyone. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 9, text 41, 7 and 90, the Lord says, Bharata Bhumite Hoil, Manushya Janmayor, Janma Sataka Kori Kora, Para Upakar, Nacho Gau Bhakta Sange Karo Sankirtana, Krishna Nama Upadeshi, Taro Sarvajana. What he says? One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India. Right? Give me a second. Right. Okay. Now, what he says, one who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India. All right. Now, Bharata Bhumi Te Hoila. Bharata Bhumi. Bharata Bhumi means the land of India. Lord Chaitanya giving a very clear instruction. The one who has taken his birth in a human being in the land of India, Bharat Varsha. Right? What he should do? Should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. Right? Because since the Shastras and the Vedas has been isolated and be kept in India, so we as born as an Indian, all right, of course, we didn't born in India, but we are related to this Indian way of life, right? So we should make our life successful for the benefit of all other people. That's why I said do the RDC formula. RDC formula means you read your Shastras, you distribute. So you should take that commitment. All right, you should take that commitment. Like Srila Prabhupada, he came and spread the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to all over the world, in every town and village. And since we are under that same parampara, we also should take up this commitment. Okay, say like for instance, we are not asking you to go to house or join Sankirtan. If you can, it's better. But if you can't, at least within your environment, we should go out and start to speak about, okay, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the glories of Bhakti, right? So what we should do, first initially you can start by talking to maybe a fellow Indian until you start to have confidence. then we should go and preach to the Chinese, all right? Because I have been assigned to be the head of the Chinese preaching mission in Malaysia. So that is my greatest passion, right? My ultimate passion in this in devotional service is to create a huge Chinese yatra, all right? You know the girl that I said, the one who likes to eat pork and drink alcohol, the nurse from Singapore. I told her now. So she said she wants to give up a job in Singapore and wants to come to Ipoh and become a full-time devotee. I say, keep that full-time mentality in your mind. Outwardly perform your duty. And she said, Prabhu, what should I do? I say, go and preach to the Chinese. And I said, I don't want you to preach to the Indians. I gave her that instruction. Don't talk to Indians. I want you to go and preach to the Chinese, right? No matter what. So she said, okay. And she asked how to do it. Krishna will guide you. I don't know how to tell you, but because we are only talking over the YouTube, Facebook, or maybe by Facebook, by Zoom, or by phone. And suddenly she was inspired. So every time she carries some book with her, she goes to work. Whenever she carries a little Chinese books and English book with her, and you know what? The distance from her place to that point A to point B, she can take a bus, but she purposely will take a Grab. So when she booked a Grab, when she see the driver is Indian, she cancel it. When she see the driver is Malay, she cancel it. You know, 2 times cancel. Of course, she has a fine. But whenever she applies and see its driver is Chinese, he will accept. She purposely want to get into a car, right? So then once she get into the car, and immediately she start to talk and she start to give them a book and distribute and start to cultivate them. And through that, you know, I was very excited, delighted to found out that one of that person that she spoke to has already coming to temple. All right, Chinese guy. He already start to like want to come and check it out. What is this all about? So like that. So take the commitment. All right. We must understand ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It is not Indian Society for Krishna Consciousness. You must know that very clearly. So we should be bold enough, right? And that boldness will come once you are very convinced. So we should take that commitment to go and talk to all varieties of people by not seeing the skin color. But if you don't have that confidence, it's okay. Try to talk among your community or among your environment. But talk to someone, because that's the duty. Bharata Bhumi te hoilo manushya janma yaro. Janma sartaka kari kara para upakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharat Varsha. All right? Or in other words, we are also linked with that. So we should make our life successful and work for the benefit of other people, right? So my dear child, continue dancing, chanting, and performing Sankirtan in the association of devotees. Furthermore, go out and preach the value of chanting Krishna Nam. Right? So, Bhakti may say, so my dear child, continue dancing, chanting, and performing Sankirtan in association with the devotee. Then, furthermore, go out and preach the value of chanting Krishna Nam. For by this process, you will be able to deliver all fallen souls. Right? So you will be able to deliver all the fallen souls. Right? Right? So it says, so you could deliver all the fallen souls. So that means whenever you see people under stress, distress, and everything, okay, don't tell them. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. In this practice of devotional service, duplicitous association has been prohibited. Right? So, duplicitous association. So we cannot be fake, and we shouldn't allow this kind of duplicitous association or the fake association. Okay, that has been prohibited. Even in street Sankirtan, even in street Sankirtan, when we go to the street Sankirtan, one should chant and dance in the association of a pure devotee. Right? So you should chant and dance. That's why sometimes when comes Radha Yatra, don't miss that opportunity, because that's opportunity created that you can go to the street Kirtan and chant and dance in the association of all devotees. One should not chant in the association of non-devotees. Right? One should not chant in the association of non-devotee, because the non-devotee will somehow or other will distract you. What are you doing? If they're inquisitive, is okay. Right? So, like for instance, they say while you're chanting, they will tell you talk some grandmother story, grandfather story, all right? Some kind of mundane words, all right? So that's another thing. So all this you'll study in Harinam Chintamani. Householder should fully depend on the will of the Lord. And another thing is the householder should fully depend on the will of the Lord in his activities. All right, all his activities, he just simply depend at the will or the decision of Krishna. The Lord says in Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Lila, chapter 28, text 55, Tunamata Ishvarera Adina Sansara Svantara Hoite Shakti Natika Kahara. Listen, dear mother, the whole world is under the control of the Lord. No one has the power to become independent. No one has the power to become independent. Right? So he said, a householder should cautiously give up. Okay? Then another thing, the householder should cautiously give up association of the non-devotee women and auxilious people. The people we have who have so much of this thing and like show off people. Right? Must be very cautious. Why Bhakti Vinod Thakur is talking about this grihastha married life? Because we are the only one in the society. All right. When you look at this, the brahmachari, the student, vanaprastha, the renowned, the retired, and the sannyasi, all these people, they stay in the monastery, they stay in the temple, they stay among themselves. But we as a grihastha, we are the one that associating with the world outside, you know, so like that, right? So we have to be very cautious. So of course, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, remember, I think around few sessions before, he explained how we should associate with non-devotees. It is just like buying vegetable in the market. You know, your association with the non-devotee is supposed to be very beautiful, and another one is what? Official. Okay, it has to be beautiful and official. That's all, and without any kind of love and bond. Okay, I hope you all remember that, right? So like that. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 2, text 87, the Lord says, Asat Sangatyaga, Asat Sangatyaga. Sat Sangha means, Sat means mode of goodness or devotee. Sangha, association. When you put an A in front, Asat, that's opposite. So Asat Sangatyaga, A Vaishnava Achar, Stri Sangi Eka Asadu Krishna Bhakta Ar. A Vaishnava should avoid the association of ordinary people. Common people are very much materially attached. Why? Because of common people are very much materially attached, especially to women, right? So especially to women, we have to be very, very, very careful. Okay. Sometimes, because as I said, the women association, okay, especially you have to be very careful if you are not strong in sadhana. You know, sometimes the what they call the playful talk, the side glance, and their gesture, all can be very attractive, especially to men. We have seen so many men who are married and still they have an illicit affair outside. All right, so you have to be very careful, right? So, but these women, we are talking about non-devotee women, all right? Because non-devotee women, they don't have any kind of awe and respect. But when we are dealing with this, so we have to deal with them in a very official way. So whenever we start to become close with them, that's when the womanliness, right? What they call the girlishness will start to prevail in that woman, and that girlishness will somehow or other will attract the man. When the man is attracted, that's when everything is doomed. Nowadays, even in modern society, so we see when a man is married, you know, he has a very good family, but after that, somehow or other he lured and get attracted to another woman. What happened? His entire family institution will collapse. When the wife finds out, the wife will file for a divorce. Okay, under the file of divorce, she said, my man is having an extramarital affair. And of course, the children will start to hate you for that. So in that kind of environment, all the things that you have taken 20, 30 years to build will crush. And after once the thing crush, then you go to other side and you marry that girl or whatever it is. Then there also will start to have attitude problem. Then after that, you start to have regret. You want to go back. Once the glass is broken, cannot be stick again. The broken glass is already always a broken glass. There's no reconciliation. All right. Even if there by chance, if that thing reconciled, but still the kind of doubt and hatred will be there. The worst thing is when the children start to hate you for this, that's it. As I gave an example, right? A British guy, you know, the Chinese guy or a very old man, around 90s when I met him, he said, I give a best education for my children and everything, but it's in old folks home. And he said, because I failed to love my children. I think you all remember the story I told about when I go and visit the old folks home. And of course, the children hated him so much until they told the caretaker, if he dies, just do whatever ritual or whichever way you want to bury him or you want to burn him or whatever, just go ahead and do it. And I just send the money. You don't even need to inform us. We are not even bothered about it. Such a hatred. So that means the future, the Pindadana and all these kind of things will not be performed and the person will suffer miserably. It is not worth it at all. So we should always remember, live in the community of a devotee and women respectfully worship the women and serve the women respectfully, especially the Vaishnava women. Right? It's better for us to associate with Vaishnavas. All right, devotee women. That's why we call ladies in our society as Mataji. Other than your wife, every woman is your mother. All right? Not, like even there's one stupid Tamil song also, right? Edukku pondati oor sutti vapad. You know, these kind of nonsense things are created by cinemas. That's why watching movies and all these things has to be avoided. You know, the translation of that song, it's a very famous song. Every young boy will sing that. You know what they say? Why I need a wife when every woman out there are my mistress? Edukku pondati oor sutti vapad. Right? Why should I bother to have a wife when I have mistress all around? So this kind of mad ideology is being propagated. So we have to be very careful. But in our Vedic Shastra says, other than your wife, every woman, it can be any kind of women, Chinese, Malay, Indians, British, Western, whoever it is, they are your mother. So that kind of mentality is only can be created in this Vaishnava culture. Right? In other culture, it is not like that. Right? Other than this Vaishnava culture, the opposite culture is the mundane, materialistic, madness, crazy culture. Because the women has to be manipulated. Right? Even if I want to advertise something, I need to get a woman in half dress or skimpy dress, almost revealing to this thing. You know, like for instance, the Levi jeans. That's why I never buy Levi's. You know, the Levi jeans, those days, you know how they advertise a topless women wearing the jeans. Why we need to get a topless woman to wear the jeans? All right. The first attraction to look at the topless woman, then look at the jeans. And somehow or other, the attraction of a woman body will make the jeans, the idea about Levi brand will submerge into your subconscious mind. So when you go shopping, you definitely, when you look at Levi, you remember that girl. So these kind of stupid things of manipulating women. The women are being terribly manipulated, right, in Kali Yuga. But of course, the crazy women nowadays are also talking about their women rights. What is their women rights? The women rights means they have the freedom for education. They have the freedom to express themselves. That's all. But why you need to have a freedom of dressing? They say, oh, I dress up like this and men come and rape me. Oh, that means what? It means they talk about freedom of dressing, freedom of expression, freedom of this. All right. All the things that women has been were not allowed in these previous times, it's allowed. Okay, you fight for that kind of freedom. Freedom to vote, freedom to drive, freedom to work, and all this fair enough. That's somewhat other fair enough. But when you talk about freedom of dressing, freedom of expression, freedom of do whatever you feel like doing, at night walking around alone, freedom. I mean, all these kind of things are these are the women rights group have created this kind of mundane kind of thing. Okay, why? Because we must understand men are naturally weak when it comes to women. No matter how, even how great the president, how great, when he go back home, he have to be he have to be very humble to his wife. All right, he can be a very egoistic person outside, but come to his wife, he has to be humble because the man is basically weak. Right? So this kind of thing. So we have to be very careful. All right. Prabhus and mothers. So I am saying this not as being a racist or not being a MCP, right? Male chauvinist, right? I'm not trying to be a male chauvinist. I am saying this based on our etiquette. You know, even I myself have 3 daughters, right? So I have myself 3 daughters. So I'm telling, so the dressings, the way that we conduct, you know, we should be always careful. And of course, there's so many wolves out there. As a devotee women, we also have to be protect ourselves from all these kind of wolves. At the same time, as a male devotee, we have to be very respectful to women. So avoid watching movies, cinemas, and also these kind of things. Because when you watch movie, that's a place the women is being manipulated. You know, especially the stupid Tamil and Hindi movies. It's the most stupidest thing I've seen. You know, they'll be having a duet song on the Himalayas or on the snow. You know, there's a snow. It's extremely cold, and the man will be fully dressed. You wear a glove, you wear all the thing, but the women will be on sari and revealing, as though the women don't feel cold, right? But the men will be fully dressed, and the women will be wearing a sari or revealing or lenga or whatever, reveal here and there, and she'll be dancing, you know, on the snow, right? So once I saw the making of that thing. So once she danced, and immediately she ran, they'll wrap her. Then after that, she come out, she dance a bit, and that is manipulation. The women are being manipulated. So we should not encourage all these kind of things. So avoid all the, we are not trying to be a primitive. We are not trying to be a cave people. We are trying to respect women. When you want to respect women, we have to do it in such a way we discourage all these kind of nonsense things. No cinema, no this thing. So when you keep within the community, and is it life within the community is very boring? No, it's very exciting. You know, because you're talking about Krishna, we are talking about, because Krishna is very exciting. You know, when you want to read, there's a lot of literature to read about him. And the chanting is very exciting. You want to dance and this thing, come to the temple, dance, express yourself. Everything is here, but devoid of sinful mentality. All right. So it's very important. Vaishnava should also avoid company of those who are non-devotee of Lord Krishna. Right? Vaishnava also to be seen. Right? So that is the thing. All right. So I don't want to elaborate further because I understand. I know that you understand what I'm saying. All right. So now it's 10:08. Let's take a short break and we continue. Okay. Let's take a short break. Hare Krishna. Okay. So let's continue. So now Bhakti Vinod Thakur is also continuing. By following this prescribed duty, that means by following these prescribed duties as a Grahastha Vaishnava, married Vaishnava, should accumulate wealth for his maintenance. So also should accumulate wealth for his maintenance. He should not accumulate wealth by sinful means. Right? So we must understand that all the wealth that we accumulate, it has to come on a pious way. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu has stated in Chaitanya Bhagavat, who's now Lord Nityananda Prabhu is speaking. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Leela, chapter 5, text 685 to text 688. Shunno dvija yateka pataka kaili tui, ara yadi na karis saba nimu muni. Parahimsa daka churi saba anachara. Chada giya iha tumi na kariya ara. Dharma pade giya tumi loho harinam, tabe tumi anyera karibo paritrana. Yata sabha dasyu chora dakiya aniya, dharma pade sabara lawe tumi giya. So what he says, now listen carefully, O Brahmana. I will take responsibility for all your previous, now he's saying, now listen to me carefully, O Brahmana. I will take responsibility of all your previous misdeeds, if you do not repeat them. Lord Nityananda is telling, oh, listen, I will take all your previous misdeeds, all your bad things you have done, I will take it. I will take responsibility. But you should not repeat them. No more aggression. No more aggression. Okay. Okay. No more violence. No more looting. What is looting? Churi. In Malay also we call churi, right? Pencuri. No more looting or murder. Chada. Sabha anachara chada. Give them up forever, he says. Give them up forever. Lead a religious life. Dharma Pade. In Tamil, we have Dharma Padam. Dharma Pade. Follow the religious life and chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Right? So, Gaya Tumi Laha Harina. So, that means chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Then later, Tabe Tumi Anyara Karibo Paritrana. Then later, you can also save others. So, we have to save ourselves. Give up all this aggression, violence, looting, or even murder. Give them up forever. Now you lead a religious life. Chant the holy name. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant the holy name of the Lord. After that, then later, you can also save others. Ata Sabadashi Chora Dakyaniya Dharma Pade Sabara Loi Tumigiya. Go and meet other dacoits. Go and meet all the dacoits. Who is that? What is it? Chora Dakiye. So Chora Dakiye means dacoits. That means the what they call the dacoits, right? You all know. Valipari Thirudan. In Tamil we call Valipari Thirudan. In what they call? Bandit. Bandit. That people come halfway, they rob, or they call the land pirate. Go and meet all other dacoits and murderers and bring them to the path of pure religious life. Yata Sabadasya, Dashu, Chora Dakya Aniya, Chora, all these Valiparitridan, and bring them to Dharma Pade, bring them to the religiosity, Sabare Loi Tumigiya. Then bring them to the path of pure religious life. So what is the first step? Give up all your things. Number 2, practice it yourself. Once you're convinced, go and save others. Householder should not hanker for another wife or prostitute. Another important thing. The householder should not hanker for another wife or a prostitute. Sometimes it's quite common that sometimes we think, did I marry a right girl? Yeah, you seeing your brother, your cousin, whoever has a fantastic wife, you start to think, how nice if I have that wife. Yeah, that wife, look at her. That means you are looking at her in a very lusty way. So hankering. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is warning, do not hanker for another wife or even for the prostitute. Oh, this prostitute is the best, don't hanker. This is exhibited in Lord's dealing with Krishna Das in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 9, text 227 to 228. Goshanta Sange Rahe Krishna Das Brahmana Pattatari Saha Tahan Hoida Darashana. Stri Dana Dekana Tandra Loba Janmaila Arya Sarala Viprera Buddhi Nasha Kaila. Viprera Buddhi Nasha. The destruction of intelligence. So what it says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, while was accompanied by his servant Krishnadas, right? He was a Brahmana, but he met with the Bhattataris there. With women with Bhattataris allured the Brahmana Krishnadas. Right, the women and Bhattatari, all right, allured the Brahmana, Krishnadas was somehow or other got attracted, who was simple and gentle. By virtue of their bad association, they polluted his intelligence. By the virtue of their bad association, all right? So it's like that. So sometimes they polluted his intelligence. Buddhi Nasa. The Lord protected the Brahmana from the women clutches. The Lord protected the Brahmana from women clutches by pulling him by the hair. That means he pulled him by the hair, right? Protect. The word Sarala Vipra means weak-hearted young Brahmana. Sarala Vipra. So Sarala means weak-hearted young Brahmana. He is the real householder. A householder who chants 100,000 names every day. What is 100,000 names? How many rounds? Can anyone tell me? Haribol. Can anyone tell me what is that 100,000 names? How many rounds? Are you all there? Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So what is 100,000 names?
Don't.
Yes, Rusul Mataji, you're saying something?
Don't know.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
6,250 rounds.
Huh?
6,250 rounds.
No.
100,000 names divided by
No, you can.
Divine.
See, in every name got Hare Krishna Rama.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna Rama. There's 3 names, right? So in one round, times by this thing. So how many rounds? What do you think? Chaitanya Prabhu? Chaitanya,
Hare Krishna Rama.
yeah. So 100,000 means how many rounds you have to chant? How many rounds? Any idea, Prabhu? Chaitanya Prabhu?
No, I had no idea. Yeah.
Okay. How about others? Anybody want to try? Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu, you want to try? Our senior most Brahmana devotee here. Are you there, Prabhu? Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu? All right.
One
Now,
round,
how many?
1,000.
No, not 1,000. 308. No, not 308. 100,000 names means 64 rounds. When you chant 64 rounds, you are chanting 1 lakh names. You got it?
Yeah.
64 times 108, 6,912 times 3. Right? I don't know. No, Hare Krishna. No, sorry. In one mantra, Hare Krishna Rama. So that means Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, 8 times. Okay. How many times Hare we are saying? All right. We are saying Hare 8 times. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So 8 times. So 8. So how many Krishna? There are Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That means 4 Krishna plus 4 Rama. So total there is 16 words in one. So times 108. So in one round you are chanting 1728 times 64. So it comes to 110,592 names. You got it? All right. So that's why they call 1 lakh name. So everybody must chant 100,000 names actually, right? Anyway, make sure you do your 16 first. All right. So who chants 100,000 names every day? Pure devotee should accept prasada in the house of such grasta. Oops. Right. So he said pure devotees must accept this thing. So it says that 64 rounds is very, very important. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter 9, text 121 to see, the Lord says, Prabhu bole jana laksheshwara boli kore pratidina lakshanama ye grahana kore sa janere nama ami bali laksheshwara tata bhiksha amara naye anyagara. Yes, Rusan Mataji.
So the calculation is words here. 100,000 names is 1,000 times. How many? Can you write on the WhatsApp?
Okay, wait. Let me show. Because the next verse is going to be very interesting. Okay. Now, let's look at the whiteboard. Okay. So we have this name. Hare. Is it too small?
Okay, I can see. No problems.
Hare Krishna. Then Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare, 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 Rama, Hare, Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. All right. So this is the Maha Mantra. Now we see in this Maha Mantra we have Hare. How many Haris we have? Can you count? How many Haris?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
8.
8. Really?
We have, all right. How many Krishna we have?
1, 2, 3,
How
4,
many?
4.
4. Okay. Now, how many Rama we have?
Yeah, 4. 4. Yeah. Yeah, 4.
Total is how much? Total per mantra. Total per mantra is
12 name.
8 plus 8, 16. Okay. Correct or not?
Yes.
Okay. 8 means we have 8 Hare. Hare means Hari. Krishna 4, Rama 4. So total per mantra we have 16. Per mantra. So now let's look at this thing. So that means we are chanting 16 per mantra, but we are chanting how many rounds? We are chanting 108 times per round. All right. So how much? So that means 1728. That means 16 times 108 is 1728. You got it? Now,
Wow.
yes,
Mm.
now what you do? You are chanting. That means one round is 1728. So 17. So that means we are talking of 1728 per round. All right. You chant say 16. So how many rounds? How many names you are chanting per time? Right. You chant 16 means so times by 16. So it come up to 27,648 when you chant 16 rounds. Okay.
Mm.
Now, say like if you are chanting 64 rounds. So that means, so 1728 per round times by 64. So how much you get? Okay. When you chant 1728 times 64. You chant 64, you are chanting 110,592 names. You got it?
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, now I give you something more exciting, right? Now, another thing is like this, right? Since we are talking about it, okay, let's do it this. All right, now, one time you chant Krishna is equivalent to 3,000 names of Vishnu.
Oh, okay.
Okay? One time you chant Krishna is equal to 3,000 names of Vishnu. And one time you chant Rama, okay, equivalent to 1,000 names of Vishnu. Okay. So we don't look at Hare first now. So now when you see, that means 8, okay, in one round you times 8 times 108, okay, times say 16. That means you are chanting 13,824 of Hare, Krishna and Rama. You're chanting that much of name. And you times by 3,000 times by 1,000. How much? Okay. Okay, give you an example. Say, let me say like for instance, 4 times 108. Right? Per round, you are chanting 132 Krishna. SHNA. And you are chanting 432 Rama. Okay. So Ram. So that means Krishna, that means say like, so times 3,000. How much?
Wow.
Okay. 432 times 3,000. Okay, you're chanting 1,296,000. That's only one round. All right. And take it by 1,000. Okay, that is how much? right? 432,000. 432,000 names. And you combine both, so total in 108 rounds, you have chanted plus 432,000, right? 1,728,000 names just in one round. Okay, you got it? But now let's look at more exciting things, right? What happened if you chant what they call 16 rounds, right? Just say, okay, just chant 16 rounds. Times by 16 is how much? 1,728 tang times 16. How many rounds you have chanted? Right? Times 16. You have chanted 27,648,000. Right? But what happened if the same thing you chant, you times 64? How much? It's unbelievable, right? So 1,728,123 times 64. So roughly you are chanting 110 592,000. 110 million rounds you are chanting when you do 64 rounds. But when you look at it, I have not included Hare. I'm not sure what is Hare. How many rounds is Hare? I'm not very sure. But we don't look at it. Just say Krishna and Rama according to Padma Puran. One time you say Rama is equal to 1,000 names. One time you say Krishna is equivalent to 3 Rama. That is equal to 3,000 names of Vishnu. So, my dear Prabhus and mothers, you have to chant this much because our conditioning is so terrible. We have been terribly conditioned in this material world. So when we are in a terrible condition, right? If you say, like, for instance, when you see a place is extremely dirty, you cannot use a hose of water. You need to use a jet pipe. You have to spray the water so distinct and clear all the things. Similarly, when you chant Hare Krishna, at least 16 rounds, you are chanting 27 million names of Vishnu. One name of Vishnu will save you from the repeated birth and death. One name of Vishnu will save you from not being born in an animal life, abominable life. Even one name. But here you are chanting 27,648,000 names just in 16 rounds. And imagine how powerful is this mantra. That's why this mantra is called the Maha Mantra, the supreme mantra, the most potent mantra, the mantra to deliver. Because that's what we will study in Harinama Chintamani. In this book, we will study that it says that how in Kali Yuga people are so disturbed. They cannot concentrate. They cannot do deity worship. They cannot sit and meditate. They are so incapable, right? Therefore, Krishna brought his supremely, all the power of Krishna is invested in his name. Just by chanting the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you achieve the highest success of achieving Prema Bhakti. You don't even need to do anything else. Achieve the highest perfection of Prema Bhakti simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Now, do you see how powerful is this? That's what I'm telling you. Go and... sorry, Mataji?
I did not know the Krishna one name is considered 3,000 name of Vishnu. Oh my God.
Exactly. If not, how many names you have to chant? Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayanaya Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah, Om Govindaya Namah, Om Vishnave Namah, Om Madhusudanaya Namah, Om Trivikramaya Namah, Om Vamanaya Namah, Sridharaya Namah, Rishikeshaya Namah, Padmanabhaya Namah, Damodaraya Namah. Right? Om Keshavaya, Om Vishnu. That's it. That means you chant 108 names. Om Buddhaya Namah, Om Lord Buddha, Buddhaya Namaha, Om Narsinghaya Namaha, Om Varaha Devaya Namaha, you know, Om Mahakarnitai Karunaya Namaha, you chant so many names. You know, you go to any Vishnu temple, there's a special prayer called Sahasranama Archana. You go to any Vishnu temple, you tell the person, I'm not sure, but I'm talking about around 15, 20 years ago, they charged 30 ringgit. You pay 30 ringgit, they will ask you to sit down in front of the Lord and you will chant the Sahasranama. You know, Om Keshavaya Namam, Om Narayanaya Namam, Om Madhavaya Namam, Om Govindaya Namam, Om Vishnavaya Namam, like that, 1,000 names. But after that, you tell the priest, not enough, repeat. I pay you another 30 ringgit, please say it again. Then you say another 30, the third round, the priest will faint. Oh my God, I just finished 1,000 names. You want to repeat? Okay, now the enthusiasm will reduce. Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayanaya Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah, Govindaya Namah. Okay, repeat again. And the third round, he said, Appa hala utrupa Sami, you know. He said, please let me go. And he will immediately faint. He said, enough, I can't do it further. Can you imagine? But if you simply say, Krishna, you have chanted 3,000 names of Vishnu or 3 Sahasranamam worth 90 ringgit 20 years ago. I'm not sure what is the price now. Right? I'm not sure what is the Archana price. Just say Krishna. You have chanted 3,000 names of Vishnu or 3 Sahasranamam. But if you chant Hare Krishna 16 times, is equal to 1 million names. Right? So like that. That is why it's very powerful and very potent. Right? So now let's look at this thing. Right? So it says here, but now what it says that, all right, so what it says in this verse, Prabhu Bole Jana Laksheshwara. Laksheshwara means those who chant 1,000, 100,000 Laksha. Laksha means 1 lakh. Pratidina Lakshanama. Lakshanama means 100,000 names. Grahana Kare. Sa Janere Nama Ami Bali Laksheshwara. Tata Bhiksha Amara Nave Anyagara. The Lord replied, do you know who is Laksheshwara? Krishna, Lord Chaitanya says, do you know who is the Laksha Ishwara? That means the person who are Lakshadipati. In Tamil, we call Lachadipati, right? Who is that Laksheshwara? He, someone who chants 1 laksha, 1 lakh, 1 laksham, or 100,000 holy names every day. And Lord Chaitanya says, I call such a person Laksheshwara. And after that, he said something which is very heartbreaking. I only take meals in that person's house, no one else. I don't take meals in those who are not chanting 64 rounds or Laksheshwara. Right? Now, how? Lama, chant 16 also big headache. Now chant 64, 4 times. How lah? That's why our founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he came and adjusted according to our Western standard or modern standard. All right? He changed the rules to make it to 16, but after that he used the word minimum. Minimum means don't stay in 16. Right? Say like you are studying in school. They say minimum passing mark is C. So do we aim for the C? Oh, I'm working so hard. Why? Because I want to get C for my maths. Huh? You want to get what? C for your maths? Yes, C is a minimum passing mark. After that, D is fail. Right? So C is my minimum passing mark. I want to get that C. No, we don't do that. We always aspire to go for an A because we are an A-star student. Right? But you can't make it at least fall at C. So C is minimum. Similarly, set your target at 16, but work more. Try to go for a B or an A. All right? So, but if you have not even started, start with C first. Start 16. If you are chanting, try to go more. There is no difference between Smarta Vaishnava regarding following the course of religion. There's no difference. The Lord has said in Chaitanya Bhagavat Ante Leela 9.38, 388 and 389. Adama Janera ye Achara Yena Dharma. Adhikari Vaishnaveyo Kare se Karma. Krishna Kripaye se Iha Jani Bore Pore. E Saba Sankate. Keha Mare Keha Tare. Sometimes an exalted Vaishnava exhibit the same activity like a materialistic person. All right. Sometimes the exalted Vaishnava exhibit the same activity like a materialistic person. One can understand this by mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, he's in dilemma or one may. So one can understand this by the mercy of Krishna. That means, okay, he's a devotee, but he's acting like a karmi, but he's not a karmi. Right? If not, in this dilemma, one may be liberated or destroyed. That means if one start to, when we understand this, we are liberated. When we don't understand this, what will happen? We will criticize the devotee. Look at that fellow, going around making a lot of money. So that means our liberation can be destroyed. We have to be very careful. The purport is that conviction in the heart of a Vaishnava is independent. Conviction in the heart of a Vaishnava is independent. Bhakti Vinod Thakur putting it very nicely. The conviction in your heart, it's your independent choice. I cannot come and change your heart. It's your independent. If one is a Vaishnava, then he can understand the conviction of the heart of another Vaishnava who is engaged in some activities of those who are smartas. Right? So when we start to see the thing is start activity like it's going around doing yagya, doing this kind of prayers and making money. So we understand. But one who cannot understand these cannot respect Vaishnava. Who don't understand, they say, what is the whole dress up like a devotee, Sometimes they say, not they say, even I say, for me, I used to say that. I start to regret my statement. I used to say, it's better to become a devotee, take initiation, take Brahmana, and learn how to do yagya. 1 swaha, 1,000. Or make a lot of money, do all kind of ritual, fantastic money. I made that mistake. But now I'm reading this, I start to realize, right? So if we don't understand or respect, okay, we think that Vaishnava, that the devotee acting like a smarta or an ordinary Brahmana or into ritual, when we start to find fault in that, ours is gone. So one cannot understand and cannot respect Vaishnava. When we have that kind of thought, we have to be very careful. He thereby goes to hell, Om Krishna. So even think about that Vaishnava who is acting like a smarta and everything, that person goes to hell. So don't take the risk. The Lord has explained the duties of householder in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 15:104. Prabhu Kohena, Krishna Seva Vaishnava Sevana Nirantara Kara Krishna Nama Sankirtana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without cessation continue. Without cessation continue chanting the holy name of Krishna. That means without stopping, without cessation. That means cessation means stopping. Without putting a stop, continually chanting the holy name of Krishna. Whenever possible, serve him and his devotee, the Vaishnava. It is a duty of Grahastha. It is a duty of Grahastha to constantly chant the holy name of the Lord. All right, we have to constantly chant the holy name of the Lord and serve the Vaishnava. Serve the Vaishnava and the Lord, all right, so with the help of his relative and by the wealth that he has earned through pious life. So whenever we start to make some pious life, this thing, so use that to serve and this thing, along with the relatives, that means wife, children, and everything. Regarding serving the Vaishnava, now he's mentioning about this, right? So now about serving the Vaishnava, one should know that there are 3 types of non-duplicitous devotee. There are 3 types of people. The devotee who is not duplicitous, that means they are not cheating. Serving such Vaishnava is called Vaishnava Seva. There is no need to gather many Vaishnava by invitation. So there's no need. That means we don't need to like say sometime when you want to do some kind of program, we don't need to call the entire Vaishnava people to come. Right? There's no need. Whenever a Vaishnava comes for a purpose, he should be properly served with care. So when a devotee comes with a purpose, he has to be properly served with care. We have to serve the devotee with care. That's why I say, even in the temple, when you are serving the food, you have to serve with care. Not simply use your left hand, don't simply put everything inside that. We have to be very careful when we serve the Vaishnava. So by gathering many Vaishnava, one may commit offense. So sometimes when you want to do some kind of Vaishnava Seva, it's better to call one person enough. One exalted devotee and serve him. But if you're going to gather so many Vaishnava, say you gather 5 Vaishnava, right? 5 Vaishnava. Then what do? Among the 5, the first is your favorite devotee, your friend, the favorite friend. So what do? You do something more for him. Example, you get for him an expensive dhoti, or you give him some extra dakshana. But the second person, you give less dakshana or less attractive dhoti. All right. So it's like they start to think, why this guy is serving him, or maybe his friend. But there is some kind of upset in his heart. So that will turn into offenses. So don't take that risk. Just take one person that you really adore, a pure Vaishnava, and bring him to your house and serve him. Don't call the whole lot, and you cannot serve everybody equally. Finish. So as stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 15.198, Bahuta Sanyasiyadi Aishe Ekatani Sammana Karite Nari Aparada Pai. If all the sannyasis come together, it would be not possible for me to pay them proper respect. Therefore, I would be an offender. It is the duty of Grahastha Vaishnava to show mercy to the poor and fallen. At the same time, another thing, also Grahastha also must show mercy to the poor and also the fallen devotees, as fallen souls. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila 3.3.238. Dina Daya Kare E Sadhu Swabhav Hoy. It is the characteristic of all saintly person to be kind toward poor and fallen. A Grahastha Vaishnava should not, after that, a Grahastha Vaishnava should not desire to give up his body merely out of some sentiment or anger. Right? What does that mean? A Grahastha Vaishnava should not desire to give up his body. That means committing suicide is not allowed. All right? When an ordinary person commits suicide, he becomes a ghost. But when a devotee commits suicide, he becomes Brahma Rakshasa. It's even worse. Right? So you should not think about giving up his body because he's out of some sentiment or anger. Oh, okay, I'm going to kill myself. Finish. So it's stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita Ante Lila 4.57. Deha Tyagadi Yata Sabha Tamo Dharma Tamo Rajo Dharme Krishnera Na Pai Marma. Such acts of suicide are influenced by the mode of ignorance. And in ignorance and passion, one cannot understand Krishna. Very simply, nicely stated. All right. Committing suicide is in the mode of ignorance. But those who are in a passion and ignorance can never understand Krishna. All right. Now, next, there is no consideration of superior or inferior status. All right. Another thing that is following is this. All right. There is no consideration of superior or inferior status due to social position in regard of worshipping Krishna. So that means there's no considered superior or inferior, whether you're a high caste, low caste, rich or poor, there's no such thing when it comes to worshipping Krishna. In worldly occupant, there are different activities according to the different social division, yes, which are due to superior and inferior. I'm a high caste, you're a low caste, and grades of intelligence. I'm very intelligent, you're very stupid. So like that, there is a degradation in this material world. But there's no distinction in the process of devotional service. So there is no distinction. So when we start to see a person who are not educated or distinct, we should not disregard them. It's confirmed in Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, chapter 4, text 66 and 67. Nicha jadi nahe Krishna bhajani ayogya satkula vipra nahe bhajanera yogya. Ye bhaje se bada abhakta hina chara Krishna bhajane nahi jadi kuladi vichara. So Nicha jadi, low class, nahi Krishna bhajane ayokyan and yokyan. Ayokyan and yokyan. There's no such thing. Right? Satkula vipra nahe bhajanera yagya. Na ye bhaje se sabda abhakta hina chara. Krishna bhajane nahi jadi kuladi vichara. So when we start to practice in this, nahi jadi kulam illai. Nahi, nay, no. A person born in low family is not, okay, now, Nicha jadi. Nicha jadi, like kill jadi, or low caste. A person born in low family is not unfit for discharging devotional service to Lord Krishna. Nor it is fit for devotional service simply because he's born in an aristocratic family or a Brahman. Okay, what does it mean? A person born in low family is not unfit. He's not unfit. That means he's fit for discharging devotional service. Nor is one fit. At the same time, those who born in a great family is not considered fit to perform devotional service because he's born in an aristocratic family or Brahman. Anyone who takes to devotional service is exalted. Anyone. Nicha Jadi or big Jadi, Ayokyan and Yogian. Whatever it is, whether it's a okay, whether it's a non-devotee, okay, whereas a non-devotee always condemned and abominable. Right? So non-devotee. That means Krishna Bhajan, Nahi Jadi Kuladi Vichar. That means the non-devotees is always condemned and abominable. So the non-devotees are considered the outcast or the condemned. So in devotional service, there's no such thing, higher status, lower status, high birth, low birth, Indian, Chinese, Western, all these things is not to be counted. Because as long as a person becomes a devotee, he is rightly situated. But if it's a non-devotee, he can be the richest man on earth. All these people are still condemned and their life is full of abominable. That means not auspicious. Therefore, in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord, there is no consideration of status of one's family. Lord Chaitanya says this very clearly in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela, chapter 4, text 66 and 67. Right? So with this, we end the session here. So let's see some more how long to go. Right. All right, now we do the last one. And also in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela, chapter 5, text 84, it is said, Sannyasi Pandita Ganera Karita Garvanasha Garvam Nicha Shudra Dwara Karena Dharmera Prakasha, to vanquish the false pride. Adenade Garvanasa, Garva Markarade. In Tamil we call Garvam. No, Garva Markarade means false pride of so-called renunciate and learned scholars. I mean to destroy. He spread real religious principle. Even though a Shudra or a low-born fourth-class man. So he went and spread all these things to vanquish the false pride. You think you are great? I think the Shudras are even greater than you. Just to break their nose, the Lord Chaitanya went and spread all these the real religious principle. Even through a Shudra or a low-born fourth class, even through them. Right? Like that. Example, like Rupa Goswami was a Muslim. He was a Dira Pandya, Dira Kalsha, right? There's a brothers, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami are called, they are from Muslim. I mean, they were Brahmana, but they work with the Muslim government and they adopted Muslim name. Maybe they should have converted, right? They are considered outcast, malichas. And yet, they became a pure devotee of the Lord. Haridas Thakur, the book that we're going to read, Harinam Chintamani, by him, he's also from Muslim or Malicha. So Malichas are considered outcast. Even then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used them to spread the cult of Bhakti. All right? So with that, we end the session here. So please mark the book. The Grasta Vaishnava should kill Satisfy. Sannyasi Pandita, 584. Okay. Grahasta. Okay, it's page 75. Huh? So please mark your book, 75. Right? So now, with that, we end the session here. It's already 10:53. So now we open for questions. Any questions, any comment? Is this challenging, these statements? Is it okay? Acceptable? Adaptable is later. Acceptable? Why are we please quiet? Hare Krishna.
Acceptable, Prabhu, but a little bit commitment, a lot of commitment.
Sorry?
Acceptable, but you have to put in a lot of effort.
Exactly.
Yes.
But the effort, the conviction comes when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The more you start to chant, you start to the pollutant in your mind will start to clear, and you can take things as it is. Yes, very nice. Anyone else? But any comment? Okay. All right. If there's no questions or no comment, we end the session here. Thank you so much for your time. Tomorrow we meet again at 11 o'clock. All right. Sorry, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. All right. Till then, have a wonderful day. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu bevacha paditanam pavinivyo vaishnave bayo namo nama. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Sri Bhaktiyaloka ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Gauranga. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.